Welcome to your weekly recap with DayTrading Investments. Currently in week 2 of the From 2500 to Financial Freedom Challenge. This week kind of got beat up in the market, as you can see. Only went 1 for 5, lost 1980 for the week of January 22nd. Made some mistakes. Got kind of hung up in my pre-analysis and went against some of my trading rules, not adapting to the market. So let's go ahead and get into it and see exactly how we got here this week. So we start off on January 24th, 60-minute time frame. See price kind of reached a level of exhaustion. You can see RSI is also dipping. Going to the 30-minute time frame, just trying to identify exactly where my edge is in the market today. So we see here, this is a previous level of interest that was support. But we broke below that, and now it's showing us or serving as a potential level of resistance. So we see price trying to dip in here as well. We got slowness in. So one or two things can be possibly happening. This can be a consolidation area where we continue to move forward. Our price can just kind of reach exhaustion and continue to move lower. But remember, on the 60-minute time frame, that just shows where we are currently in the market. We're only trading inside of one of those bars on the 60-minute time frame. So this gave me my first trading hypothesis for the day. Looking for a sell order, looking for a price to kind of continue to move bullish. As the morning open, we see we identified a trend line here. So trying to figure out exactly where price can potentially hit a turnaround after a slight move up at the beginning of the market. So we see price moving up here. So going to get my limit order started just in case we get a long wick at one of our areas of interest. Don't want to miss the move, but also still want to be patient, because remember, the market is very volatile in the first 5 minutes. You got big players coming in, big buyers, big sellers. There's people trying to gain control of the market. But remember, we're just scalpers. We're trying to get in, get out, and make sure that our position is very optimal. So this is a perfect example of the volatility, just long bars back and forth. So our price approaching this trend line of ours. So got some resistance there. So just want to see what happens, but still be within a moment's notice if I need to take this position. So now I see price going down. We're putting in lower price. So I felt pretty good here. Just wanted to see if price would come back up to this level and potentially get me filled. So price touched the trend line. Now looking back at the replay, we kind of dipped below this area that we recently considered support. So I'm thinking, okay, trend line is going to hold for me. So I just want to get filled here, but not prematurely. Got a long wick. That's something I like to see. So here I felt like the move kind of got away from me, and ended up getting rid of that limit order. And I was just patiently watching to see exactly what happens. Price started to come back up again. Ended up getting filled and immediately stopped out. And price continued to move forward from there. So we continue forward, and we can see that price not only bruised through that level, also reached the top of the zone. So we're just trying to fast forward, because we see that price continued to move up for another 20 minutes, and then immediately after, from point A to point B, all of those losses, well, all of those gains were taken away once again. So from a point A to point B, like literally no consolidation. That's usually what I look for, some retest, that it wasn't able to happen either. So you see me just kind of speeding it up here. So we can see we're now at 10:11, but literally we're back where we started at for the market on the open. So prices just kind of, I feel like, found a range. Is just going to be trading in between that today, without any retests, any regard for, just some consistency. But here, I believe that this can potentially be a slight pullback before continuing to move on. So this is my second hypothesis for today, a buy order that I'm looking for. So I figure that this may have been a consolidation area, and price wants to continue to move up later on in the day. When people start to exit the market, volume starts to kind of dwindle down around like 10:30, 10:45, around 11. So looking to enter somewhere up in this area, looking for price to continue to move up. Got filled. But we can immediately see where we went wrong here. So if this is a day where we're trading back and forth within a range, I immediately got in the middle of the particular range that we're trading in, which is not good because anything can happen in between. You always want to get in on the bounds if they're trading within a range. So end of the day, terrible. The lesson that we kind of learned here is to know when it is not your day. Didn't feel like that day was my day. Didn't see a lot of consolidation, confluence. There weren't any retests. And given the way that I trade, I have a slim stop loss. So it's not for me to be within a volatile market. That's why I need to be on the outside, the bounds, the bottom, the trouts, to make sure that I can get the proper reversal and make sure that I'm in the optimal position to trade. So I lost $765 that day. We move on to the second day of the week, 25th of January. Open it up on the 60-minute time frame. We see here that we are touching a area of demand. So let's see this level here. Putting a horizontal line here just to show how close these two levels are. So we're inside of a previous demand level where prices also dipped slightly here at a previous level of support. So I just want to be mindful of that. So because remember that when we have levels that are close in proximity, we always want to trade off the lower or higher depending on what type of order you're trying to put in. So also trying to identify this trend line that we have here. So my initial hypothesis is that we are looking for continued move up. Prices kind of reached exhaustion from going down. RSI is low on our higher time frames. So we're looking to be a little bit patient today. We have two ideas in mind depending on which direction the market starts off. If it starts off bullish, looking to see if it kind of bounces off either this trend line or potentially an area that is turned into resistance. Or if it starts off low, we're looking for a price to potentially reverse for the remainder of the day, because we're hitting this demand level here, and we also have another area of support right below it. So hopefully one of these hold. So we see we started off bearish for the day, got to this level here, blew through that. We got somewhat of a turnaround here, so we're just going to be patient and wait to see exactly what happens. So I got my buy order here. Remember, my initial hypothesis is that we're going to reach a turnaround. The price is going to continue to move forward. So here looking for my buy order, thinking that price got a long candle below the level, but it's going to continue to push up. So got kind of anxious there. But never have FOMO, never have fear of missing out. There's always going to be another move. So I didn't want to rush into my buy order and the potential of price coming back down to this previous level here. So price has reached the top of this demand zone that we were trading inside of. So now I'm looking for a potential retest down below to this horizontal line again. So I have my buy order. Don't want to get entered prematurely. So I got filled, but immediately stopped out. And that's because I wasn't patient. Got that FOMO there, because we can see price came down again to this horizontal line. And that would have been a more optimal position to enter. Granted, still would have lost. But here, this is where I should have seen price dip below. So I'm believing putting the horizontal line lower, looking for another level of support, a potential level of support. Still moving within the same hypothesis that we initially had. So looking for a reversal, because remember that there was several signs of confluence on the 60-minute time frame. But the issue, or the disconnect here that we always have to be mindful of, is that we are trading within the 1-minute time frame. So it would take 180 of these bars to form to just get 3 bars on our 60-minute time frame. So it takes time for a reversal. It takes a lot longer, or it seems like a long time in the 1-minute time frame for actual reversal to take place on a 60-minute time frame. So always be mindful of where we are in the market, because remember, all of this that's happening right now is inside of 1 bar. And the reason I mentioned this, I will kind of get to later, because my initial hypothesis was correct, but I had poor trade management, or poor entry in all of my trades. Because we'll look, this is actually where price, where I have my limit order. This is actually where price reversed and moved higher. I enter prematurely. You see me trying to enter here, thinking that this is the market putting in a higher low when we continue to move up. I didn't wait to see if it retested lower. So once again, it's bad entry points. Stop loss too tight. Stop loss is nowhere near where it should be if I'm trading properly. So I lost that second trade. And the lesson here, loss and drawdowns are part of the game. But actually could have won because my hypothesis was correct. But I didn't have proper entry points. The market continued and ran up after it went back down to retest that lower low there. So it could have been a good day, but once again, any trade can go to shit if your entry is terrible. So just remember that as well. Loss and drawdowns are part of the game, but we just need to make sure that we are doing our best to prevent those. So now we're looking at the 26th of January. We got this trend line here. So remember, these days are always consecutive. So this is just evidence that the market continued to move up from yesterday after we made that trade. That is actually that second dip there. The price continued to move up. So we could have rolled all of that up. But nonetheless, we're here now. We are identifying the potential channel that we're trading in. And we see that we have some areas of interest. You want to potentially get in on the buy side of things. So just identifying some potential areas of reversal. It's also kind of narrow, so considering this to be some consolidation or back and forth. So I would just want to be patient, allow the market to open and see exactly what happens today. So we can see the market opened real bullish, and we can see the potential formation of a trend line. So as the market opens, you just want to figure out exactly what kind of got shaken. So trying to see if this is a potential trend line. This also kind of coincide with the shoulders of this previous head and shoulders pattern that you see over there to the left. We broke through those, got some wicks there. Also got this trend line. So seeing exactly we get some a reversal at the potential trend line here. You see we got some long wicks. And I usually take that as a sign of reversal because price is not holding there. There's not enough volume for us to fill those candles. But we also wait for the candle to close for verification that it is a long wick. So wasn't as risk reverse there. Didn't want to miss out on this potential move. So move my entry got filled. And we're looking for a slight pullback. But immediately got stopped out. Because once again, into that terrible position. Wasn't able to have my stop loss above the trend line. Or above the previous high. And with this move here, this is actually the correct analysis. But once again, lost my first trade. Trying to take more than 2 trades today. So once I lose my first, I immediately become very risk averse. And that's something I need to actually work on, because I need to be able to identify my edge and not trade with emotions. Even though I lost my last trade, if I identify my edge properly and have the right risk to reward ratio, which is kind of given, this how I have my trade managed out. But if I identify my edge properly, don't be scared to enter the trade just because I lost the last one. And that's part of like market psychology, trading psychology, and just being confident within your analysis. So yes, I lost, but my analysis is my analysis. I identify my edge and I just let it play out. Let the probabilities handle themselves. But I wasn't able to do that here. We can see that we got some more consolidation before price continues to just move on up. And you saw that I had my buy order there, so I would have been filled. But willing to take more risk in the first trade and become immediately more risk averse in the second. That's just something I have to work on. So put in this horizontal line here to see potentially if there's some reversal here. But once again, looking back at the larger market sentiment, price is going to continue to move forward. It's been trending. So now we see we have the horizontal line there, and price continue to wreak havoc on the market in a bullish fashion. This trend line here is something that we put in on the 30-minute time frame because these are just weekly recaps. I don't want to show you every single minute because I spent about 30 minutes, maybe sometime even 40 minutes out of the market, and I just didn't want you to watch all of that. So it's more about my trading ideas when we get there. So you can see, hoping that this trend line here holds, because it's on the 30-minute time frame, so a lot stronger level of resistance. So now that prices went off of that, what we're looking for is a potentially lower high that we can get on and ride the market down on a pullback. So here, looking for the potential formation of a heads and shoulders pattern. So once again, got filled, but immediately stopped. But once again, just not good trading. Entered the market a little later. This was that potential lower high that I was speaking of, that I was hoping that we can get before riding the market down. So you see we got some bearish movement. And now what I'm looking for, a confirmation, is that if we get below this most recent low here, so end up making a lower low, so that'll tell me that I am on the right side of this trade. But the beauty is, we got money locked in, so I won't lose all my trades for the week. So one thing that also is very helpful is to get out of the mind frame of money and get more into increasing your win percentage. My goal is to have a 90% win percentage, not just, oh, I made a lot of money, because you can make a lot of money on one trade and be a terrible trader. So it's more about being more efficient in our trades, making great analysis, and entering high probability setups off of our edge. As we're looking back on the week, we can see that a lot of my trades didn't end up working out because I got too anxious. My stop loss is too tight for me not to have an optimal position. I end up getting stopped out because my stop loss is not able to be in a location where I don't just get wiped out due to just a little bit of volatility. So that's something I need to work on, and something that we're going to work on together. This is why we end up trading here. This is a perfect example. I slowed this trade down to real time. You can see that it is after 10:30. Oh geez, it's after 10:30. So the market actually like just slows down because most of the volumes take place at the beginning of the market from 9:30 to like 9:45, and it just immediately slows down and almost grinds to a halt around 11 before it picks back up around like 2:33, something like that. This is my last trade for the week. So the week didn't go quite as I planned, but you know, proper risk management allows me to still be in the game. You know what I'm saying? I'm still up 500 even though I was 1 for 5. So our market lesson, man, for the week is no feelings, no emotions, no attachments. And when I speak of this means to any trade. You want no feelings, no emotions, no attachment. You just want to be able to identify your edge, place your trade, and allow the probabilities to take place. Don't allow the money or losing or winning to sway you in any way. This is a skill, and be very mindful of your emotions. Remove those emotions so you don't swing too far or too high in your trading. But as overall, we're still up $514 at the end of week 2. So we're still going to keep it going. Want to do it for about 45, 60 days to see what happens, man. But since you're still here, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, and don't forget to hit that notification bell so you're here next time we are analyzing our trades with danDeiar Investments. But until then, stay safe and be blessed.